Hey guys, welcome to another episode of The Completionist. For this episode, guys, I'm going to do another episode of gaming channels that deserve 1,000 subscribers. Now, this is a series of videos, I've been doing over the last 2 years. And it's basically a series where I take channels that I enjoy that have less than 1,000 subscribers and try to help them get to that 1,000 subscriber goal. Now, for me, it was only last year that I finally reached my 1,000 subscriber milestone, which was my ultimate goal, when I created this channel to begin with. And ever since I made that video, now my channel hasn't really grown that much. I've only gained maybe about 74 or 75 subscribers, since then. But unfortunately, I can't really release a lot of content as well because many of you are definitely aware of my work situation. But one thing that I noticed is that, when I started on YouTube back in 2010, I noticed, a lot of gaming channels used to give shout outs, to much smaller channels, to help them grow and, to help them find an audience that, that appeals to the types of videos that these guys make. But the longer that, I became a part of YouTube, the less of these videos that, I started to see. So I decided to take it upon myself, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you 5 channels that I firmly believe deserve to, reach the 1,000 subscriber milestone. Because for me, I'm not really subscribed to a lot of big channels. I prefer to watch, a lot of smaller channels because I find that I have much more, to relate to these people than, some of the bigger channels on YouTube. And these are channels that I think other people will enjoy as well. So anyway, guys, the first channel that I wanted to talk to you about is a channel that I've been subscribed to, for a little less than a year. I think it was just recently. I think he hit his 300 subscriber milestone. He's quickly become one of my favorite gaming channels on YouTube, even though he does talk about a lot of other topics, besides gaming, but I think gaming is in his forefront. And the channel's name is Cracklotus. Now, one of the reasons why I love this guy's channel is that he is very passionate about his hobby. However, he is blunt, to the point, unapologetic, very opinionated, and he will not sugarcoat anything for you. He will tell it exactly how it is. And I think it's that personality trait that I appreciate about him the most. He doesn't really care about who he offends, because he speaks from the heart, and a lot of the points that he does talk about, I do agree with, and I've had some really excellent discussions with him, on Facebook and on his videos himself. And these are his opinions, and he doesn't really care about who he offends. As I said before, it's not only video games that he talks about. One of the other types of videos that this guy makes is he's also a cassette tape player. So he talks about, very obscure cassette tapes that he owns that may be hard to come by, from some of his favorite groups. And he also does collection videos of things besides video games, like vinyl records. And I remember him, basically telling stories through his YouTube videos, of how people, were literally giving him hell because he wasn't doing gaming videos. He was doing other things, and he just basically told them right where to go, and rightly so, because it is his channel, and he does have the right to do with whatever he sees fit. And I think it's his blunt, unapologetic attitude towards a lot of topics, regardless if it is video games in nature, is one of the reasons why I really do appreciate his channel. He is an incredibly hard worker. Not only is he married, he also goes to school, he goes to work, and despite having all that, he still finds time for his hobby as well. And I often say all the time, is that the best achievement any gamer could ever hope to achieve is finding the perfect balance between your real life responsibilities and your gaming life. And I think that person is a perfect exemplification of that. So I highly recommend you check his channel out. Now, the next channel I'm going to shout out is a guy I've been subscribed to, I think, for a little over a year. He mostly does gaming pickups, but I commend him on the amount of quality stuff that he does get, because he does show a lot of similar gaming interests that I have. And I'm always amazed, you know, some of the things he keeps finding for himself. And the channel's name is Dynasty Warriors 6. I think he lives, you know, in the Oregon area, and he mostly does gaming pickups. But you know, other than that, you know, he'll do the scatter silly video as well. You know, I remember, you know, he did a parody, you know, of the Game Chasers. That was actually pretty hilarious. But I think one of the biggest reasons why I have his collecting attitude is that even though, you know, he does check Craigslist and flea market and garage sales and tries to find the best deal, but the impression that I get from him is that he's a video game collector that takes responsibility for what the market dictates. Because he's not necessarily always after, you know, the rarest and the best games, because I remember countless times, you know, that he does have a local game store that he likes to go to. And you know, sometimes at the game store he sees stuff that he really wants, but you know, sometimes it's a little expensive, because as video game collectors we do have to accept responsibility, especially, you know, if certain prices, you know, dictate what a game is. But you know, he understands that, and you know, there have been some games that, you know, he simply saved his money and purchased. And you know, despite owning, you know, some very sought-after titles, you know, he does play his games, and he does enjoy them to as much as he possibly can. And it's that kind of attitude that, you know, I really like about his channel. So, you know, I really hope the garage and the flea market season continues, you know, to treat him well. And, you know, with regards to what he finds, regardless if it's very sought-after or not, I sincerely hope that, you know, he at least gives his games a good try. So anyway, that's Dynasty Warrior 6, so be sure to check his channel out. The next channel that I'm going to shout out is probably one of the best guys with regards to gaming discussion that I absolutely like. I think this channel only has about 400 subscribers, but even though some of his videos can be long, they can range anywhere from like 10 minutes, you know, up to over 30 minutes. But I absolutely love the way that this guy talks about his hobby, especially when he does in-depth reviews about a video game that he recently played. And the channel's name is Ultimate Floyd One. Ultimate Floyd One, you know, he does a variety of different gaming topics, and I'm always interested in what he has to say, because he does tell some very interesting gaming stories, but he also gives very honest, in-depth reviews on the games that he does play. And he doesn't try to sugarcoat anything. You know, he basically tells the game exactly how it is, based on his impressions and simply on his impressions alone. And you know, generally I'm not a big fan of, you know, really long videos, but I love how this guy talks, and I love how he explains things. It makes his videos very easy to listen to. They're incredibly informative, and he just looks at games with so much detail. It is very hard for him to hate on a game, because any game that he does play, you know, he'll try to play it as much as possible, and for the most part he does beat them. He may not be a video game completionist, but he does give every game that he reviews an honest try. And it's something, you know, that I really appreciate, because you know, in order to give your full impressions on a game, you should be able to beat it from start to finish. And he talks about a lot of things, you know, with regards to the story, the battle system, the music, the gameplay elements, the graphics. But there's just a way that he exemplifies his opinion that I absolutely love about his channel. Now not only does he talk about the games, but he actually talks about game series as well. He actually plays every game in a specific game series, and he'll actually go into great detail about what his favorite game in that series is, down to his least favorite, or vice versa. I know he's done that for the Mega Man series, and he's also done that for the Legend of Zelda series as well. And you know, some of his videos may be long and it may be off-putting, you know, to some people, but you know, if you have any spare time, you know, I highly recommend to give one of his videos a try, because he is really good at expressing his opinion about how much he loves specific games. And I think it's for that reason alone is one of the reasons why I really appreciate his channel. So anyway, guys, the fourth channel I'm going to shout out is a channel that I've been subscribed to for, I think, almost 2 years, maybe a little longer. His videos mainly deal with games in the NES era, even though he does dabble a bit, you know, into other gaming generations. His videos are short, quick, and to the point, but it brings up a great bit of nostalgic value, you know, with regards to, you know, to NES games and the memories that we have with them. He often does videos with his twin brother, and I find that the chemistry that these guys have is really humorous and, you know, really unique. And they have, you know, various gaming tastes about what they like and what they don't like, but their opinions blend in really well, and they actually do a really good job of making really excellent videos within a very short period of time. Now, the channel's name is Max Impact 24. I think his channel is also showcased on GameStory81's website, but I'm not too sure on that, so don't quote me on that. This channel is a really enjoyable channel because I love the stories, you know, of the NES memories that you know that he does with some of his favorite games. But be warned as well, because some of the videos can get a little random in a very humorous kind of way. Just recently, you know, he did a video about NES games that were released by Tecmo, and he did a nice little, not necessarily monologue, but a couple of scenes, you know, with Ninja Gaiden and Extreme Dead or Alive Beach Volleyball, and it was actually quite funny. So his channel is a smorgasbord of a lot of different things, mostly NES related. But every once in a while, you know, you'll get something completely random, and the channel is really enjoyable. And I always find that he always has a new story to tell with any NES game that he actually talks about. So anyway, if you're a big NES fan, I highly recommend you check his channel out. And the final channel that I want to talk to you guys about is another great channel that specializes, you know, in individual reviews, you know, on specific games, especially from the newer generation of consoles. But like Ultimate Floyd One, he's very good at getting his point across and talking about it in various kinds of ways that are very informative, but are also very intriguing as well. Now, that channel's name is SNESmapper. This guy goes into great detail about explaining some of the things that he loves about some of the games that he recently played. And he does it in such a way he could honestly sell any video game on to you. He talks about the positives and the negatives from a very realistic point of view. He doesn't completely fixate, you know, on the flaws that each game has. You know, he tries to look at it from a very equal, wide open point of view to try to see if the game can be appealing to somebody. Because there have been some games, you know, that he absolutely loved, and then there were other games that he may not have liked, but he understands that, you know, different games can appeal to different people, and he's not afraid, you know, to get that point across. So he's a great conversationalist, you know, when it comes to individual topics, you know, especially with regards to individual video games. I love his review style, even though he doesn't really show any footage. It's just him talking in front of the camera. But there have been some games that he have talked about that I may not have been interested at first, but he talks about them in such a way that it actually makes me interested in playing them, even though they may not be anime style games, which is what I usually play the majority of the time. So anyway, if you're looking for a great review channel, I highly recommend you check him out as well. So anyway guys, those are 5 gaming channels that deserve the 1,000 subscriber benchmark. Now guys, I'll be completely honest, even though I'm a YouTube channel that just barely has over 1,000 subscribers, getting a shout out from me is not going to probably get you to that mark. You know, if more than anything, I hope I can bring at least, you know, 10 to 30 new subscribers to your channel, because I want you guys to understand that you absolutely deserve them. So anyway guys, you know, I will provide links for all the channels below. But one other thing that I want to do as well guys, since this is the 3rd episode that I've done in this series, you know, I'm very grateful that, you know, some of the channels that I have shouted out over the last 2 episodes of this video series have reached the 1,000 subscriber milestone. I think the last video that I did of this series, Caffeine Media Girl, actually made it to the 1,000 subscriber benchmark, but unfortunately, you know, life got very busy for her and she couldn't make videos as often anymore. And because of that, you know, she reached the 1,000 subscriber benchmark, but then a whole ton of people unsubscribed from her because she wasn't making any videos. But now she is back to making videos again. So I hope to see her get to that 1,000 benchmark as well. But another channel that actually reached the 1,000 subscriber benchmark and actually took off from there is Erica Zabo. I think she's actually at 8,000 subscribers right now, which is kind of nuts, because when I shouted out her channel last year, I think she only had 500. So it's really great to see her channel grow in such a short amount of time. But also, guys, there have been other channels that I have shouted out in my other 2 videos that have not reached the 1,000 subscriber benchmark as well. So I'll be sure to provide links for those channels as well. So anyway, guys, I want to thank you for your time. And thank you for watching another episode of The Completionist. And as always, take care. And I wish you nothing but the best. Later.